Google, TuneIn, and others. And now, let's talk Tech Talk.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Tech for Tech Tech Talk. This is our live show. Today's show, we're going to be talking about Let's Open a Store. If you haven't already realised, I'm Phil Griffiths. This is...
I'm Jenny, and we're your hosts for this evening.
That's it. So today, he's just come back in. I was going to say we've got two guests. We lost him a few seconds ago, so we'll add the second guest back in. So we've got Ken and Will on the show, and if you didn't gather, again, obviously let us know if... Sorry, start again. It's all right. A message popped up on the screen and distracted me. You are obviously able to hear and see us. Let us know. Thank you, Dan. I've done it before I even asked. Also, let us know if you can hear both me and Jenny okay, because someone was just saying that Jenny sounded a bit quiet on the chat. So again, Jen, speak a bit so people can actually hear you. Properly.
I talk very quiet.
There we go. Well, it's quite hard to do that. I'll try and boost your end up a tad. There we go. Okay. Right. Okay. So let's get on with the show. So obviously, other than Dan saying that loud and clear, no one else is deciding to comment as of yet. If you are commenting on Facebook, please remember to comment with your name if you are viewing from Facebook, because apparently, or it's still not working. So please do comment with your name so we know who we're replying to, and obviously if conversations are going on, we don't get mixed up. Right, okay, let's get on with this then. So, first of all, we're going to do, rather than the usual thing of a story, tip, or advice, we're going to do some quick-fire questions. So I'm going to start off with Ken. First of all, Ken, let us know who you are and where you work.
Ken from Canny Clever in not-so-sunny Whitley Bay at the minute. Although it is sunny tomorrow, apparently.
Okay. There we go. Right, to the quick-fire questions. How long have you been trading?
As Canny Clever, it'll be about 6 years now.
About 6 years. Which do you prefer? Linux or Linux, as some people call it? Windows, Apple, or something else?
I'll go with Windows.
Okay. First operating system you used?
Microsoft DOS version 4, if I remember right. It was either 4 or 5. And then I moved up to Windows 2 and then Windows 3, 3.1.
I remember 3.0.
Yeah.
I remember 3.0, but I did use DOS, and I still remember my commands.
WordPerfect 5.1 worked brilliant on it.
I was actually certified in WordPerfect 6.0. Yeah.
Right. Let's get back to the quickfire questions. So, what's the specs of your main PC?
The one I'm sat in front of, my laptop, which was replaced about 2 months ago because my old one apparently, accountant said it had depreciated, so always listen to the accountant. So Ryzen 9, 64 gig of RAM, an RTX 4070, I believe it says on here. Some of my staff think it's sacrilege because all I do is send emails and do live streams.
That's how it goes, yeah. And right, okay, pick one. Would you prefer more customers or would you prefer to charge customers more?
Difficult one. It would depend on the customer, but I would prefer to do more customers, meet more people, spread the word faster.
And last question for you, are you going to TechMax?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. That's the end of the quickfire questions for you. Let's go on to Will then. So, Will, I'm going to ask you the same questions in a few seconds, but first of all, let us know who you are and where you're from.
Hi, I'm Will from Dunfermline in Scotland, which has been quite a lovely day today, actually. According to the car, it was 18 degrees, so I think I've got a fault with the car. But yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I'm going to say 18 degrees. That would be a fault. Yeah, but I must admit, when I went out earlier, it was 19. But it doesn't feel that hot because the sun's not out. It's cloudy, so it's not as hot as it should feel, should I say. Right, let's start off with these questions for you. So, how long have you been trading?
Officially, 2010.
2010, so you're coming up 14, 15 years then. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So, Linux, Windows, Apple, or something else?
Windows, definitely.
Okay. First operating system you used?
Oh, Windows 95. I'm a bit later on.
That's not too bad still. It's still a lot better than some people. I hear a lot of people say the first one they used was XP. So I suppose some newer people it'll be 7 and so forth. And what specs of your main PC?
I have an LG Gram. It's an i7 13th gen, 32 gig RAM, and standard graphics card with it. So lovely. It's a nice machine when it's working.
Okay, sounds pretty good. Pick one. More customers or charge customers more?
I'd have to see charge customers more because I'm pretty bad
Okay.
for that. Yeah.
Well, it makes you work, I suppose. So, and are you going to Tech Max?
Of course, without a doubt.
Good. Good. I'm glad you said that. Right. I'm going to ask you now, madam, so everyone knows.
Okay.
So, quick 5 questions for Jen. So, first of all, tell everyone who you are if they don't know.
I've already done that.
Well, just tell them again.
I am Jenny, and I'm your host for this evening. All right.
Yeah.
I did that.
She's the boss at Tech for Techs as well. Okay. So, right. So, how long have you been trading for? We'll say Tech for Techs and not your retail store.
Oh, gosh. We did Tech for Techs, the original one, about, 5 years?
Yeah, 2018 January officially launched, but yeah. Okay, so Linux, Windows, or Apple, or something else?
Windows.
Okay, first operating system.
It would have to be MS-DOS, some version of that. And then the first Windows that I handled was 3.0.
Okay. What's the specs of your main PC?
It's an i9. It is 64 gigabytes of RAM with a 3070 graphics card in it, housed in a Cooler Master case.
Okay, nice one. Pick one. More customers or charge more?
Charge more.
Okay. And the next question, hopefully it's going to be yes. Are you going to Tech Max?
I'll think about it.
Okay, you'll think about it. You better be. You're in reception. Okay, I'll ask myself the same questions. If you don't know who I am, obviously I'm director, blah, 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 at Tech for Techs, and also ran Chips Computers as well. How long have we been trading Tech for Techs? Since 2018. And Chips Computers started that in 2005. Out of the operating systems, again, Windows, because that's basically what we repair and where we made the money from. First operating system. Oh, what was the Amiga one called? Someone's going to know. Ben, are you watching? He'll know. Amiga OS, Amiga 5, I can't remember. But Windows was 3.1 or 3.11, one of those. Specs of the main PC. It's a 14900 Ki9, 128 gig, GeForce 4090, and lots of other bits and bobs. But again, I use it mainly for doing 6K, 8K video editing as well, so it's not all for gaming and stuff. So there is a reason why it's quite high spec. More customers or charge more? It's a hard one, but I'd go for charge more, to be honest with you. Less work for yourself, and also it makes obviously your work look like it's more better quality if you're cheap. Let's put it that way. And am I going to Tech Max? Well, I hope so. Let's put it that way. Right, let's get on with the rest of the show. Let's quickly go over to the chat. So we've got evening from Norfolk. Again, Facebook users, if you want to put your name on there so we know. Good evening, Jamie watching from Phone Clinic, and Matt. We're coming to Tech Max, so yeah, nice to see you guys come in, and hopefully we'll get a chance to have a chat. Again, no offense if I don't get a chance to talk to everyone there, because there's going to be a lot of people, and if I did, I'd probably get around about 3 seconds on average for each person for the amount of people that come in. We've got Alison EADR, I'm guessing that's the one from Norfolk, and Facebook users saying Amiga OS. Well, it's pretty close one, Amiga OS. So there we go. Right, okay, so let's get into the main topic then, or the news first. So you've got some Tech Max news.
Well, I've got all sorts of news, but we'll start with the Tech Max news. Vendors, the newest vendors to sign up to Tech Max. Dun, 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 dun. Eurosolve, PC Check. They're going to be with us. And we have a new influencer on board. Welshie Tech is going to be joining us at Tech Max as well. At this rate, it looks like we're going to be breaking open the overflow areas to house everybody. because I think I've got 2 available slots in the main area that we started with, and those are kind of sort of spoken for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to be opening up the overflow, and I don't mind doing that for the simple reason means that we have almost done twice as many vendors as we had last year. So, if
Yeah,
we
there's a big
open
list.
that,
You can see the list on the screen now.
yes, there's going to be lots to see. Get your tickets. There, don't let yourself down. Get a ticket. Come to TechMax. You'll be glad you did. Bond and I, and the little fellow that you can hear whining, we've worked really hard to bring this together for you. He and I every day work on it together, don't we, Bond? And it's going to be a great show for you. So get your tickets. Get night tickets even. They're only £25 for the night, and you spend that much money going out to eat at the pub or something. So, and drinks are included in it. You get free bar and everything. Couldn't ask for more. So yeah, come to TechMax. You'll be glad you did. Another announcement.
Mm-hmm.
You're stuck with me, everybody, because I had to renew my citizenship, and I passed that. So yeah, you stuck with me for what is it, another 10 so years.
No, shouldn't need to be renewed this time, I don't think. But we've got to wait.
Well,
We've got to
then
wait
you
for it to
are
turn up.
stuck with me. Nah, 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 nah.
That's it. When's it supposed to turn up today?
Yeah, it did.
It did. Okay,
I just
you
didn't
actually
show
got
you
it.
the picture.
Oh, okay. Is it bad? Is it?
It was
Right.
bad.
Okay. So TechMax, there are free tickets as well for the daytime. There's pound tickets include lunch and evening tickets as well. So, and if you wondered what that noise was, anyone who was listening, that was Ken. I'm not going to say what he was doing, but that definitely was Ken making that noise. Right. Okay. Let's turn this screen off. So, actually, don't forget as well, just a quick one. We have got the awards going on as well. So you can go to the Tech for Tech's website, just click on the awards, and then you can vote for techs, vendors, or distributors. So if you want to say, let's say, the best tech store or the best community expert, you can basically pick them there, vote on them. It's really up to you. There's lots of different awards up for grabs. 21 finals are at TechMax. Again, you don't need to attend to actually win. It'd be nice if you did attend, but if not, you can actually stay at home if you really wanted to, or if it's too far for you for whatever means. But there we go. So I'll finish it there, and we'll go on to the main topic then. So let me just get that off the screen. Go away. Here we go. Jenny's just disappeared because Bond is having a little bit of a cry at the moment, so she's having to talk to him basically and sort him out and so forth. I don't think you need the on what he's doing. Right, okay, let's get on to the main topic then. So, open a store. So, we've got 2 slightly different things going off here. So, Ken is opening, or should I say, moving to a new store, where Will is actually opening his first store. I'm presuming I'm correct there. I'll let you start off, Ken, just to basically tell us the basics of what you're doing, and then I'll ask some questions to fill in as we go through the show.
Firstly, I'm coming down with a cold. That's the noise you heard before, me blowing my nose. So that's what that was. But essentially, the store we're in, very nice store, very nice street. We are staying in the same area. We have quite a long lease, so I'm still tied to that for a while, but viewings are going well. So, I'm expecting that to go really quickly. But we've decided to relocate because we want to do something a little bit different. Retail is great. However, we know retail is changing. The whole thing is, I think it's not just IT retail in general. So rather than be caught on the back foot with a really big premises, which we have, we've decided to move to somewhere with a bit more height, a little bit more width. It is a bigger building, but we're going to reposition ourselves slightly. So as well as doing B2B, we'll be doing retail and events. So we're creating a retail event space, as we call it. I don't think it's been done before. Somebody might correct us if I'm wrong. I can't find anything similar. So I guess we're we are moving about 300 yards from where we are now into a big former bank. There is more footfall because the two main bus stops for the whole town are right outside our door. We've got a Greg's over the road and a Weatherspoons. So if people don't like us, they can go and get a drink. Hopefully not. But other than that, I think the idea is to try and give more of an experience rather than just have boxes of shelves or boxes on shelves that people can pick, buy, and all the rest. So I want to get them in, give them advice, and I think we are going to be launching some products for some manufacturers too. We're talking to a few now. We've got 3 confirmed. NDAs in place, so I can't say anything about them yet. But there's another 7 that we're talking to. So hopefully that will bring more business in and a bit more excitement for the shop. But some of the pictures you've just seen, I think, are some of the shop fittings which we have managed to relocate from a shop that closed down, a top shop, I believe. And I think ordinarily we would have probably spent 30 or 40,000 pound on shop fittings for things like this, but we've picked it all up for a rather modest sum. The accountant is happy, which means I'm happy. That's my new till point. I don't know how we're going to move that because it's about 1/2 ton in weight. Our new place does have a vault, a big old bank vault, as you can see there. And I think it's a case of we're going to use that for product launches, special events, and if we get a shoplifter, we can easily lock them in there and wait for the police. But that is a big lump of building. We're taking the whole building, upstairs included. So office space. Oh, yeah, we're getting some anti-shoplifting things from the old top shop as well. So we're going fully equipped this time. Should be able to deal with anything. Lots of nice shelving. So I mean, if you are starting a shop, it's worth looking at liquidation sales and things like that. But you can see there a bank counter. If anybody wants a bank counter for the shop, if you're in a particularly bad area, give us a shout. You can have that one for free. And I think that's more shelving that we've acquired. Phil's gone really quiet. Can't hear him.
1 second. Can you hear me now? There we go.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. So yeah, sorry if those pictures were not in any specific order. That's just how it's uploaded onto the system. So and that small, the thumbnails, it's really hard to see which one's which. So at least I know the next few ones are for Will. So, but yeah, so there we go. Thanks for the quick rundown there, Ken. So the basics is you're moving into a bank. You got a vault. You can lock your staff in and not pay them. Bonus. So
That's standard, isn't it?
yeah, exactly.
Or anyone that doesn't treat the dogs right goes and has to spend time out in the
definitely.
vault.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Right, let's move on to Will. So, Will, let us know what you're doing then. So, you're opening a store for the first time, yeah?
Yeah.
So,
I've
just give us a
been
rundown. I'll show you pictures.
yeah, I've been pondering opening my own store for a long time, humming and hawing, back and forth, and through text for text and advice and other people, good support community. So I've decided to go for it now or never. So I'm going small. I'm not opening a big, huge branch like Ken is doing, and I wish him all the best. It looks amazing. This is what I'm hoping to achieve signage-wise at the front. Not so much on the window, the help desk, that was put in there just as a filler,
I
really.
like this. This
But
is very clean looking.
yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping for. You know, I'm wanting to go with a clean, slick look inside, white gloss worktops, finishings, furniture, and things like that.
I don't think you could have
And
done
I've
a
got a
better
lot of
job on that window. You've got just enough to make it look like the building is occupied, but it's
yeah,
not so
yeah. It's
much
not. That's just
too
not
busy.
just yet. Yeah, I'm not. The sign's getting fitted in a couple of weeks actually, but this is what it was before. It was a library, community library. So yeah, but we've changed all the lights to LED lights and things like light bulbs, and as best as we can. And this is the new grey tiles are going in. We've had to lift up all the the stuck down tiles and skim the flooring and things like that as well. So there's a bit of work still going on. We're hoping to open for the 1st of May. and that's the sign. Yeah, that's what we're going for there. So nice and clean. We're in a little village called Crossgates in Fife, and it's quite a good village because you've got to go through the village to go to any of the main towns and centres, shopping centres and things. So I've got good coverage for traffic and footfall and things. So um, yeah, we're about to find out, and it's great getting advice and from the likes of Ken and others in the store. I know Carl Milton, I think his name is. He's opening a store as well. So it's good communicating back and forth with everyone to get some advice on the do's and don'ts. One of the things that I need to do, really need to do, is sit down and work out my pricing.
Yeah.
I do need to increase that, definitely, without a doubt. I mean, I've went long enough now where I've helped old dears, and I'm working from my garden office and things, and you've not got the overheads really as I'm about to have now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the start. We're not going to be conventional hours. We're going to open in the afternoon because we're a family-run business, and I've got the school running things. We're going to open in the afternoon, open in the evenings, and by appointment and things like that. So we're hoping to do it a bit differently compared to your standard curries and things like that, which my competitors and that. So, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Okay,
Well,
sounds
we
pretty good.
certainly wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
I know you'll do well because you've got that
Thank you
good
very
people
much.
person aura about you and everything. And I know if I was in your area and my computer broke down, you'd be the first person I'd pick to have a look at it.
No offence or anything, Ken, but
No, it's all right.
or any
Oh,
offence to me either.
well,
But
we're different ends of the country. No, I've got some good tips from Ken, definitely from watching the shows and things like that, and chatting back and forward. And it's great the advice that people's given me. So I really do appreciate
What I
everyone
would
helping
say, I
out. So
mean, Will, if you did want to pop over and spend an afternoon or
yeah,
something, feel free, drop in. To just give us a ring first to make sure I'm not popping out to see customers. Otherwise, no.
yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
mean, I think the same goes to anybody opening a new shop. It's hard work, and if you've not done it before, most of them. So
Yep.
it's a case of I don't mind sharing them. It's not an issue. Yes,
Mr. Ken
we've
here is the go-to
but
for business. He is a businessman. And
yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely has a lot of good ideas, Ken does. I'm going to say I know we've spoken about
Well,
a few things, but
I think the ones you get to hear about are the good ones. I'll have a lot of bad ones as well, but never mind.
that's it.
Take the rough with the smooth. That's what we've got to do. Take the rough with the smooth.
Yeah.
It's all good in business when it's all going good,
You won't
but
know
when it
until
goes
you
bad,
try.
it can go terribly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the motto I'm taking. Um, in our bathroom, we've got a life manifesto poster, and it's always every time we're in the bathroom, we always see if you don't try, you're not going to know. Take a step, don't look back on things, and don't have regrets. And so, I have two jobs. I work with a local authority as well, which is not going so good at the moment. And for some reason, this shop came at the right time, the right price. So I've got to do it. Yeah, I've got to take the jump for it.
Things happen for a
And
reason, and
yeah, well,
sometimes
I'm a firm believer of that.
yeah.
Again, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, some pretty good points. Let's just quickly go through to the chat. First of all, does Jenny's mic sound muffled to anyone else? I've adjusted the sound slightly on this end, so let me know if she sounds muffled. She does sound a little bit quieter than me usually because, well, I've got slightly deeper. Put
Yeah,
it
just
that
a
way.
little bit
It's only
quieter.
when
Yeah.
she's telling me off, her voice goes really high. But there we go. So we've also got Sharon Richards from Eurosoft. Is obviously going to be at TechMax. We just announced that earlier in the show. They're going to be exhibiting. She's in Tennessee at the moment. So hi to Sharon over in the States. Is it nice and warm over there, Sharon, or is some crazy weather going off?
I bet it's crazy weather. It always is this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
But I guarantee you the pollen count is through the roof. So I'm glad I'm not there.
Someone says, again, guys, if you can comment with your names at the end so we know who we're talking to. Same as us, we're moving to HSBC Bank in our town. We still refurbishing the building at the moment. Also, It's been empty for 10 years, so a lot of work. Yeah, there's a lot of empty banks around, so you could potentially, a lot of people could potentially make some decent feature buildings out of them, a bit like Ken's doing. I know we've got loads of empty banks near us and so forth. It's where, especially the smaller outskirt towns or the cities, where they've moved all the main banking into the town. There seems to be quite a lot. We've got. Okay, Jen's mic's better now, so that's good. And Justin is saying, hello everyone, no plans to open another shop here. You never know, Justin, after this show you might suddenly get the urge, but apparently he's just listening to get some contribution points. He's after some brownie points, I think, so I'm not sure why, but he probably wants to get up on that leaderboard, the 10 most active members or whatever. But there we go. And someone's saying it's cloudy today, hailstones the size of ping pong balls, and the other day was sunny tomorrow, so that'll be Sharon, obviously in
It's that
Tennessee.
crazy southern weather. I'm telling you, I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
Yeah, it's always extreme in the States, and
Yeah, it's either extremely devil's, you know what, fiery hot, or it's like
tornado coming through, literally.
well, yeah, he came in the first time, and there was a tornado bringing him in on the airplane. So I was like, "What's up with this? You know, what's going on at the airport?" And all of a sudden, I heard something sounded like a steam train whistle, and they were saying, "There's a tornado coming through. Go for cover." And about that time, I felt the airport roof lift up slightly. And I'm on the floor going, "Oh my God."
The question I've got, though, obviously,
I was like, "This is an omen. This is an omen."
there's lots of tornadoes in that area. Why do they build an airport what's got complete glass front?
Almost all of the
Yeah, but that
airports
just
have
sounds a
glass
little bit
front.
daft, doesn't it? Glass
What are
shatters,
we
everyone's
supposed to
dead.
have, a bomb?
Brick. I don't know.
Aesthetically pleasing.
So, but there we go anyway. So, and whoever's saying yup. So there we go. Right. Okay. Let's move on. So, guys, people who are watching, if you've got any questions about opening a store, obviously Ken probably might be able to answer that one, or other people in the chat, or even me and Jen. Or if you've got any tips for Will, or
Yeah.
even for everyone, should we say, feel free to comment. Obviously, the more comments we get, the better. And also, I don't do this often. Don't forget, if you are watching this, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe and all that other rubbish. So,
Oh dear word.
well, we have to, because it boosts it up so more people can watch. So there we go. Right. Okay.
I
So
hate that.
yeah, I know. That's why I only do it once every about 20 odd shows. But there we go. Right. Okay. So I'm going to go through a few set questions I've got for you guys. So, why did you want to move your store? I know you sort of answered that in previously, Ken, but why did you actually want to actually move your store from the previous one? Because to be honest with you, I've not visited, but I've seen the pictures. It looks amazing, your current store.
I think one of the main reasons was the building that we are busy moving to. We're actually buying it. So the company pension fund is buying the building, and the business is the tenant. It's, according to the accountant and the solicitor, it's all very tax efficient. So if that's something you're thinking about, then obviously get some advice first, would be the first thing. But it kind of made sense, rather than paying a landlord loads of money for rent, and let's face it, rent's not cheap. It seemed more sensible to pay it into our own pension fund, and then I'll benefit from it when I decide to retire. So that was one reason. The other reason was service charges on the building have gone up a little. So rather than have costs running away, we've decided, obviously, if we're buying the building, we're in full control. So we don't have any of that. Plus, it's a bigger space. Our current store, while it's nice, it's very, trying to put this in a careful way, but it's got suspended ceilings, it's got nice carpets, it's painted, it's a white box, it's a shop. It's obviously a retail store, whereas the new place, we can do so much more with that. We can get a little bit creative at times. I think people know that. So I think big ceilings, big windows, nice stonework outside, all that kind of thing. Plus, there is a lot more footfall. I think in terms of the counts that we've had done, the footfall at the new location, for all it's only 200 to 300 yards down the road, is about 5 times what we've got at the moment. So that's the other driver.
Ooh.
I mean, it did leave us with an issue because obviously we've got a long lease. I've got a break in it next year, so I'm in worst case I'm tethered to it until next year. But the agent that's selling with the other building is now marketing our building, so it's like revolving chairs, if you like. We're all moving around, and because of the street we're on, there isn't any empty stores at the minute. There's a waiting list. So I think in the last week I've done 15 viewings so far. Everything from micro pubs, nothing micro about it. It'll end up as a Weatherspoons or something. Through to childcare, antique shops, you name it. We've had all sorts wanting to move in, but it's a traditional area where there's lots of independent stores. So I've taken the view that we need to be careful who we let move into the old store. We don't want to upset the whole area because we're still part of it, and if we upset that mix, it could start a decline, and we really don't want to be the start of that. So we're not even putting a to let sign up when we've had more inquiries than you've ever seen about the shop.
Yeah.
So
That sounds pretty good, to be honest, because a lot of places, in all honesty, are struggling to get people to fill the shops. I'm going to say, if you go to our town, Chesterfield, last time I walked through there, it looked like a ghost town near enough, to be honest with you. So you're lucky that you're in a place where shops are still, well, a good thing to have, to be honest with you, by the
I
sounds
think
of it.
the community where we are, I mean, it's one of the reasons we moved into that area. We used to be in North Shields, which isn't far from us, and we struggled there. But in Whitley Bay, the local community do really look after the local businesses and vice versa. You know, we get involved in lots of community stuff, as do all the other companies. And it's a lot of them that I think the buy local message. Some people are getting it's worn out a bit in some places, but where we are, I think people live by it. You know, if you can buy local, buy it. Don't go
Yeah,
online. Avoid Amazon at all cost.
that's pretty good.
You know, when I first came over here to visit you, Chesterfield was a booming town. It really was. It had everything you could possibly imagine in the town center. I just loved BHS when I found it. I thought, oh my gosh, everything I can imagine for housekeeping and wearables under one roof. And I just fell in love with it. And then right up the street was Marks and Spencer and all that, all in one nice little compact area. And they had markets. And this was something new to me that I had never seen before was Market Town. I thought, oh my gosh. And it had stretched the length of the town and circled back around up into McDonald's and all that. And I don't know if you're familiar with Chesterfield, but this was the most awesome thing in the world. You could find anything on the market. I do mean anything. I found one of these expensive plates with Princess Diana on it for like £7. I was all over that. I was like, yes, because at home this would have cost up in the hundreds. This was very, very nice stuff. And I said, I'm having that and taking it home with me. This. I wound up spending like close to £100 on the market. And then you see it today, there's no market, I don't think. If there is, it's maybe 2 or 3 stalls. And this, no BHS, no co-op. Marks and Spencer has gone from the town center to some retail outlet area. And it's just one by one, they've disappeared out of the center. Next has gone out of the
Yeah.
center. Everything that we ever went into town for, gone, gone.
I
It's
think-
either closed shop for good or gone to a retail outlet.
I kind of think where we are, a lot of the independent businesses, there's a couple that have been there for 100 years or more, you know, so there's the good staples there. But I think what they've done is they've gone around all the other businesses and they all communicate. Everybody talks to each other. If somebody's having a bit of difficulty, you know, we all get together and we try to help where we can. but that in turn gets the community groups involved. And I mean, one of the best things we did was to get involved with the local building society, the local women's institute, and the local scout group. And that it's a case of once you start getting known in those sort of circles, they pass your name around, and then you've got more people coming to your door. So you don't need to advertise as much. And I think, I mean, if I was in Will's position, I think the first thing would be introduce yourself to your neighbours up and down the street.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Let them know what you do, how to contact you, and see if there's anything they need at the same time. I mean, a bit of back scratching works wonders.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that you might not need in the future, they may recommend people straight to you. It's what
Yeah,
I
definitely.
recommend
I've
get in
already
touch with your
started.
local parish uh,
Yeah.
and ask to get a little ad in the parish mag. And in return, I don't know if they'll do it in return for a donation or maybe they charge a little bit. It's going to be all the while worth it though, no matter what you've got to do to get in the mag. Because Phil and I got in it, and oh gosh, the results were overwhelming.
That was the best advertising we ever did. Was the
Yeah, it
Parish
was,
magazine?
and it was the cheapest.
Yeah, it was cheapest.
Mhm.
And I've said it before, but some of the people says you go in things like the Parish magazine. It's sort of better than just like an everyday rag. What everyone goes in the Parish magazine seems like you're sort of approved.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
again, this is not my words; it's what the customer says. It's as if you've been approved by God,
No, I don't
which
like that.
I know
I
you
don't
don't
like
like
that. I
that,
don't
but
like
that
that.
was you've been approved by the
By the
church or
church
whatever to
sounds
be
better.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's
Yeah.
what they
That was
but
rubbish.
it gives you an idea that you've got that status. Again, it doesn't have to be, it can be any religion. So wherever you are,
Yeah.
different religions and so forth, they all have their own leaflets and booklets and so forth. Regarding what Ken said about knowing your neighbours, that is a good one. Especially in probably for Will, you probably might have a few customers waiting for you in the store if you get like 2 or 3 in or something like that, or you're doing a repair on the spot. Maybe have one or two of the local shops leaflets as well in exchange on the table next to your counter or something like that. Not too many. You don't want to look
Yeah.
like a news agent, but just a small selection, and it's something for people to look at. And then obviously they say, "Oh yeah, we've got your details from Consumer Tech," and they'll say thank you, and then vice versa and so forth.
If
We did well with the
if
local
you have a
post office, and
chippy, if you have a chippy near you, ask to put your business card at the chippy on their counter. Everybody goes to the chippy, and what do they do while they're waiting
Yeah.
on their food? They look at everything on the counter there, and they pick up cards. I know this because Phil's dad had a chippy. And what did they do? Oh, I found your card at the chippy. We're next door, but they found us at the chippy.
And also another good one, to be honest, which I heard someone say they did before. I've not tried it myself, but it sounds like a good one. If you do have a fast food place near you, you could give them a load of, pay them a set amount rather than getting leaflets delivered to house it. You could get them
Yeah.
to put them in the bags when they're wrapping up the fish and chips or kebabs or pizzas or whatever. They could chuck them in there with the order, so you pay them so much money, and it's rather than you going around posting leaflets in everyone's door, you actually getting local people who come to that area and you advertising to them at the same
I
time.
just had
Yeah.
an
Good ideas.
most.
I've got actually, there's a Chinese across the road from me and a chip shop along the road
Yeah,
from me where I'm going to be. So yeah, I've already started coming up with designs for leaflets and cards and
that's
things.
pretty.
So all good advice.
I've
Thanks.
seen
Yeah.
some fast foods that had monitors hanging down from like the
Mhm.
ceilings. Ask them maybe
Yeah.
if you could put like a little scroll across with your name, and ask them how much that would charge, or even donate the monitor for it to be done with. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
do something like that.
Yeah. One thing though, I would advise thinking twice about if you ever get asked, do you want to do your like local gym or something like that? They usually have screens inside. That was the
Oh, don't
worst bit
do
of
that.
advertising we ever
Yeah.
did. I think we got
Yeah. No.
one person from
The
that when we
thing,
did.
the thing at the gym to do is to go around, put leaflets in lockers, like I did. I would go around after I did my workout and everything, and I would see which lockers were open, put leaflets in there, and if I could slide it just a little bit open, through the vent it goes, through the vent it goes, and then I'd go down the stairs and get my lunch and slide up under each tray.
That's
leaflet.
it. Right, let's move on to the to Will with this question. So it's basically the same question I've asked Ken.
Yep.
So Will, why did you decide to have a store? Because I know you've been considering it for quite a while. What
Yeah.
actually tipped you over that point? And just before you answer that, guys in
Well,
the chat, we will come to your questions in a few seconds. We'll ask those next. We'll just finish this question off first.
okay. So I built a custom garden office around about 2018 because I've been working from home and mobile a lot, and I've just outgrown the space, and my daughter wants it as a play den. So I've got an 8-year-old that's wanting to turn it into a girl hut, cave. So I thought, well, it's time to move because I've no more room. I've run out of space now. Business is doing good with customers coming in. So yeah, it's time to take the jump. And I'd made an inquiry from about for the current landlord for a premises along from where I'm situated now. And unfortunately, someone else got in there before me. But then he contacted me a few weeks later to say, "Look, I've got this other premises that you may be interested in, slightly cheaper, a little bit smaller. How do you fancy that?" And I went and had a look, and I've got to say the landlord's been really great. He's an older chap. This is his retirement fund
Yeah.
basically, and he's been really great. He's given me a few months to get in and no fees and things like that. So he's helping me out. And it's a good area. So I thought, well, good footfall, busy traffic and things like that there. And there's traffic lights outside the shop as well, so everybody's stopping and you always have a look about. And like you say, there's Chinese food places, pubs in the area which I'm going to target and give them all cards and things as well. So just time to go, time to move. I'm growing, so if I want to continue, I've got to take the leap and go for it. So yeah, it's exciting times. It's good. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to it. I miss the working in a shop sales. I like the sales environment and working with the public and things like that. And I sort of miss that with my other job that I do with the local authority. So I'm looking forward to get back into that. Getting back into it.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Right, let's go over through chat. So it's getting on pretty much already. We're only it's 9:15 already. So let's try and go through answers quick on all these and any other ones we've got coming in. So, right, so Joe's Tech Help on YouTube is saying, planning on making the jump later this year. What surprised you when opening in terms of how easy, difficult something was? Or what happened that you didn't think of? So obviously, we'll go to Ken first on that one because you've had a store for quite a bit longer. So
Obviously, we've been through this process a few times now. This will be our third store as Canny Clever. The thing that really surprised is some landlords are absolutely fantastic. It sounds like Will's got a good one. And some are not so fantastic. I can't use the words I want to use for that, but it's a case of that's the thing that surprised us. Just because somewhere's up for rent doesn't mean that you can haggle the price down and things like that. People will try to get as much out of you as they can, basically. I think the thing that surprised me most, and still does, to be honest, is the legal side of it. Obviously, ours is a little bit more complex because we've got two property transactions going on. We've got the purchase of the property for pension fund, and we've got a lease being written for current landlord, which will transfer to the pension fund. So, all in all, a commercial lease, I think the solicitors quoted us, if it was straightforward, about 2 months to get that done, dusted, signed, filed, so that you can actually get keys and move in. So start looking well in advance, and
Yeah.
don't be frightened to try and haggle. I think some landlords are receptive. Don't always listen to the agent. The agents don't always tell the full facts. So it's a case of do your own research, check the rates yourself, that kind of thing. And if you've got the choice of two shops, have a chat with the local council about the business rates, especially if there's a slight difference in size to the shops. if you're under a certain threshold, you will get rates free. Um, it's known where that threshold is, and it's a case of on our street, I would say about 50% of the properties are probably under the threshold, 50% are slightly over. So it's a case of, you know, people next door to each other, the overheads will be wildly different, but always, I mean, the thing that surprised me most was the amount of other businesses who don't know what their overheads are going to be when they put an offer in for a property.
Yeah.
So even the ones viewing our current store, they come in, they look around, oh, great, I like it. How much is it? The agent gives the price, and they've got no way of knowing what the rates are, the electric costs, water rates. They haven't factored any of that into the business plan. So if you're new to it, get a good accountant, and that should take the sting out of most of the surprises.
You know, you were talking about the lease and how long it was to get it and all. Well, we have just now, we're almost here.
18 months. Sorry, I interrupted. Carry on.
We haven't been here a year yet.
Yeah, we have.
We have?
Yes, 18 months.
Okay, well, whatever. Well, then that's even worse. That makes it even worse, what I'm about to say. We've just now gotten the signed, binded lease from the solicitor saying that we can occupy the premises. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've just gotten that through the mail like a couple of weeks ago.
The emailed us one, but I think officially
Yeah.
you're supposed to have one what is actually printed, what they've actually physically signed and posted to you. So it
We
took
just
us
got
that long.
that.
We've only just got that, and it's been 18 months. But yeah, and also going by what Ken says about rates, yeah, double check, especially small business rates, because when we looked at this property we're in, because we've got our own studio, when we were looking at it, the letting agent says that there was no small business relief on the building, but when we actually looked at it and looked up and double checked about 5 times just to make sure, there is actually no charge on this building for business rates. So obviously it's got a like 100% deductible on it. So we're like, yeah, that's going to save us a small fortune then. So, but it could
It
have
actually
easily
made the difference in us getting it or not.
it could have been easily the other way round, where the agent said there wasn't one because it's right on the edge. But just bear in mind, if you are right on the edge, there's always a chance that the government could change its small business reliefs and stuff and make it so if you're the threshold's slightly different, and then you won't be getting any relief. So just bear that in mind. Just because you're getting it now, don't mean you're always going to get it. So that's something just to bear in mind. So, do you have anything to add on to that one, Will? About obviously things what have happened, what you didn't think of, or anything like that? I know because you're still in the process of it. So,
Yeah, I think it's just you need to think about everything really. I mean, things like water charges, electricity charges. I got all quotes for them before I even decided if I was taking the lease. So yeah, definitely do your homework
yeah,
first before you take any lease or anything. So fortunately as well, another reason that I'm going into a store is because the energy prices have come down a bit. I thought that was going to be one of the key factors in me not going into a store was the electricity. So it's only electricity I have to pay, and I've no rates, but apparently I will get a bill in. Then I need to declare, apply for the free rates and things like that. So
Um,
all this is sort of new to me.
please
So yeah, so
Please do your
I'll keep an eye on
homework
it.
on electric because what
Yeah,
I did, we were kind of in an emergency state when we moved in here that we only had so many days of power uh, to deal with, and we needed power. And I
yeah,
picked up the power company that they were using, which was a company I'm not going to share the name of, but it was not the one that you wanted to be with. I accused them of being out of the back of a Texaco station, that they were that bad. I said, "Where are you?" I said, "Are you in the back of a Texaco station that you absolutely don't know who your customers are?" "No, I don't know your customer, blah, blah, blah." I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you to pull up my file from blah, 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 and you will see that I paid blah, blah, blah. And oh you don't get those business rates, blah, 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 blah. I said, but so and so told me last month that I did. So this month I do, this next month I don't. Finally, I dropped them and went for another well-known, I'll put it like that, well-known company that we are
A
all
very,
friends
what's the
with.
word of saying it? British company. You'll probably figure out from the name of the company from that. But don't get me wrong, I think the other company was British based as well, but it was just
As soon
not
as
good.
I, as soon as, as soon as I made inquiries about electricity on a comparison website, Jesus, the following morning there was about 6, 7, 8 phone calls within the first
Yeah,
hour
Yeah.
of everyone wanting your
that's the
business,
problem.
and I had to say to them, "Stop
Yeah,
phoning.
that's the problem with
I've got
business stuff.
someone
They
now."
don't give you the quotes
Yeah,
online. They all say, "Oh, you get to the end,"
no.
and they'll say, "Oh, they'll all contact you." And
Well,
rather than where most comparison sites will show you like, "Oh,
Oh,
yeah, it's
Jesus.
so much."
I'll
I, th- I think
I'll just
I think our electricity is like a good deal anyway. It's 46 pence standing charge and 27 pence a unit.
Yeah.
So
I think your standing
yeah,
charge is about a penny
that was the
more,
cheapest I could get.
but your unit's about 4 pence
yeah,
cheaper. But when we signed our first one up in this studio, I think we were £1.20 a kilowatt.
Oh
We
yeah,
moved in
yeah.
just when it
And
was
it
like
was
way up.
so cold when we moved in that, I mean, I sat at my desk and my hands would just about freeze in midair at the keyboard. And this is the time that Jay, the PC guy, came to my rescue. I said, "How do you guys keep warm? I can't afford it. Turning heaters on and everything." And that's when he sent me that hoodie that you can put the USB in and keep warm. And oh my God, if I hadn't have had that, we would have absolutely frozen to death or had electrical bills out the roof.
Well, they
I
were.
mean,
Our electric bills now have dropped from around about £750 a month down to about £200 since we managed to renew our
Wow.
contract after that peak. Unfortunately, we just
yeah,
moved. We should have moved in a lot sooner, but it took solicitors and everything like that to sort like four
Yeah.
months to sort everything out, and all they had to do was
it's
basically meet
ridiculous.
each other and shake their hands, and it would have been all done with. But because it took them 4 months, we moved in right at the peak of the electricity power prices, and it was like, now we're stuck for 12 months on a 12-month contract. So, and there's not much you can do about it. Luckily, it was just a 12-month contract. We're tied into a 3-year one now on the current prices. So,
yeah.
there we go.
I think I would just add to that. Since Monday morning, obviously word's gone round the electricity industry. I think that we're buying a building. We haven't even made any inquiries about the electric because we know how that system works. So I've had 485 calls from Monday morning to when I left the office this afternoon with shady electric dealers trying to sell me everything. And I've got to the point now
That's shocking.
where I recognize some of the numbers and I just pick it up, and the language is quite colourful. I just shout at them, and you know,
Yeah.
but it's got to the point now where it's clogging up our phone lines. We can't
Yeah,
function as
you
a
don't know
business.
who's going to be calling you, do you? Sometimes. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So, they even withhold their number now, so it's kind of what
Right.
next?
Let's go on to the next question then, because we're getting pretty late. So let's try and keep these quick and short. So regarding the shop struggling to be filled, my new shop is a sublet, and the leaseholder has tried for over a year to let the shop. So that's more of a statement than a question. So, and I'm not sure who that's from. That was from Facebook user. We've got another Facebook user saying, find your local community radio station. Most are run by volunteers, and the cost of advertising can be reasonable. So, yeah, that's pretty good. As long as people are actually listening to it, it should be all right. Again, regarding radio, you can always volunteer to do a small piece on the radio, like interview style, where people call in, ask questions, or you can have some preset questions you go through. Sometimes it sounds like it's live and so forth, and that advertises your business as well. You're giving the radio station something, so it doesn't cost you to do, because giving them content, but it also gets you customers. You can also do that with local newspapers and stuff like that as well. Next one up, if your shop is near a pub, get some beer mats printed with your advert on it. They are cheap to print. It's a good idea. Obviously, check with the pub as well. Obviously, if that's all right for them to do,
Yeah.
they'll probably be all right. They'll probably be happy to have some free some pads or whatever beer mats.
I would check
So,
though first.
but yeah, so definitely good advice there. So definitely second the advice about getting to know the other businesses in your area. We have done work and used the services of several people on our estate, following the follow and tag them on social too. Get your name known in the community, Facebook groups, etc. So yeah, that's another thing. Social media, obviously, if you share their posts, they share yours. That's another way of getting known as well. It costs you nothing to do. It's just time. We got a big congrats on the store. Also, thanks for helping his missus out. This is from
Neat.
Cormac. So sounds like you've been helping her out with something. So
That didn't sound too good, Phil.
No, it didn't. I wasn't going to say anything.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to defend what I said.
Cormac was away and I helped her out with an IT situation.
Yes. Okay. We'll take your word for it.
Well, there's quite a distance.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Different
about-
country.
Yeah, different country.
There we go. Right, so we are finding that rates are going up every year. Be aware if that as well. Yeah, obviously prices of everything go up. Rates and stuff do seem to go up a bit more than a lot of things. A lot of councils can be a bit funny. Obviously, if you're going on a high street in a town, obviously check out for parking as well, because if they're charging a small fortune for parking, people might not want to park to come in to see you and stuff like
That can
that. If
affect
there's free
business.
parking, I think that what affects mainly Chesterfield, our area, is the charge of parking to go into the town centre, but then it's completely surrounded by retail outlets where it's free to park. So all the businesses move to retail parks, and then the centre of town, oh, believe it or not, it's empty. So, but that's another moment for another day. Right, okay. Also, some premises will have VAT added to the rent check. Yeah, obviously, always check that you're with anything. Obviously, if you pay, you need to pay VAT on top. Obviously, when businesses are charging businesses, they don't always say that. Obviously, the full price there's VAT on top. So yeah, that's definitely a good one to recommend. And if the premises are in a shared building, check if you are responsible for management fees. Yeah, so management fees, or if you're on like a retail park or a business park like we are, even though it's a separate building, we have to pay a management fee on top because they upkeep the car park and the grass and trees and whatever else they're supposed to do, and like the gate area and all this, that, and the other. So yeah, so again, someone saying, I don't know if this is the same person or not, but they're not saying who the name is. But if you have Opus Energy at home, you can refer your business. Both you and the business get £100. Well, that's a good thing there. Obviously, you can always recommend friends and others as well. Let's have a look. And whoever it is sounding like Martin Lewis. Yeah, I agree. You definitely are. There we go. I could see Jen googling Martin Lewis to figure out who he was a second ago as well. So this is from Justin Hay. Something we've never had an issue is shoplifters. So until the last 12 months, this falls in line with the nationwide increase in shoplifting. I think every retailer needs to be more aware of this. Distraction theft is on the up. Professional shoplifters are travelling more. They do what they do because they're good at it. The last thing you need is stock walking out of the door unpaid for. Yeah, obviously that increases your costs and puts everything else up. What you're doing. So. That's definitely one there. And we've got someone saying, Ken, we had the same when we moved 2 years ago. There must be some way people can see new leases are signed. We get hounded by energy suppliers. I think once you start getting these things like this, it's the same with scams. We've got constantly messaging our Facebook page about 10 different people every single day. You are breaching Facebook's terms and conditions. You are copyright, blah, blah, blah. And it's all scam artists and stuff. It's once you get one, you seem to get millions of them. It's the same with email, and it used to be through the post, not so much with post these days. Right, okay, let me quickly do some. We'll turn these last questions into quickfire questions because of the time. So target market, who are your main customers? As in, are they gamers, elderly, or a mixture, Ken?
Bit of a mixture. Most of ours come in as normal consumers. We've got a very high proportion of self-employed where we are, so then they start coming in with the business stuff. But we do a lot of gamers as well.
Okay, that's good. What about yourself, Will? What are you aiming for? Do you know what your main target's going to be?
I'd say 40% gamers just with the area, but 60% more residential silver surfers.
Okay.
So yeah,
Next question. So, what sort of products are you going to be stocking, Ken?
The usual components, accessories, laptops, ready-built computers, everything you can normally get in Currys without the toasters and the washing machines.
There we go. But better quality and the better price and better service.
More affordable
There you
with
go.
better advice.
You'll
what about?
definitely get better service.
Wow. Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty much the same as
So
well. Refurbished laptops, new laptops, gaming machines, but I'm not pushing the gaming machine side of things really. More refurbished laptops and things like that, and accessories and things.
Those are
Okay.
your good profit things.
Yeah,
Don't carry too much stock. That would be one big bit of advice I'd give.
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep
No,
that down initially.
it's the cost of it as well. So you've got to keep the cost down as well. So,
I
yeah.
would. My advice on the gaming side is keep a few components on hand, um, because you never know, somebody might come through and need the component in a repair. So it's not going to
Yeah.
go to waste, sitting there very long. I wouldn't keep ready-built gaming rigs that are brand new around,
No.
because what's going to happen is somebody's going to go, "Oh, I like the look of that, but oh, the components inside it," or vice versa, and then they're going to go for the local for you to custom make a PC, even though what you've got to offer is probably just as good or better. So
Yeah.
I would say keep components around to build with, and that way it cuts back on your order as well when you need to build for the person.
Yeah.
So components versus build any day.
Yeah. Also, obviously, there's facilities like some distributors do where they'll build machines for you and stuff like that. One way what I always used to find works well in a store when I was in, we do usually keep because our store was pretty small. It was a bit like a TARDIS in all reality.
Yeah.
We'd keep one or two cases with a motherboard already in it. So it was basically then, if someone came in and said, "Oh, I want an i5 processor with 16 gig of RAM and an SSD or hard drive, whatever it may be," we'd have a selection of those on the shelf, maybe behind the counter. So we'd have an i7 and 5 and 3, or an AMD equivalent, and then different variations of RAM. And then basically, all it took was basically slap it. Obviously, you'd have the power supply in the case as well already, unless they're wanting something unique, but then you'd be able to just slap everything in and away you go. So it allows you to keep combinations down. You've got two show machines which you can then easily swap out processor and so forth, Windows, and you can even just leave Windows on and just put the license on once I bought it and so forth, because obviously you get that is it 45 or 60-day trial? I can't remember what it is, but even though it still works afterwards, but just gives you a limited functionality and a big thing at the bottom saying you've not paid for it. Right. Okay, so next up. All right, okay, so I'm going to put you in the highlight. What suppliers do you use, Ken? Which distributors do you buy for?
We have a preference for Target. Main reason is their wraparound support, product builder. They build PCs. They've got a Corey who knows everything there is to know about computers.
Isn't it, Jim?
And I think anybody starting out would probably do well with them because they will send you display boxes, so that helps with your shoplifting issue. You put a nice graphics card box in the window, somebody runs off with it, well, that's fine, you just get another one. The help they give you, I mean, they'll send you posters, they'll do merchandise for you, they'll do absolutely all sorts. So that's one of the reasons we stick with them. Plus, I think they're employee owned, so ethics are pretty well up there. So we're quite happy with them. We do use others. We recently started looking at Case King, I think they are. So we're busy exploring furniture, chairs and desks and things with them. Early days, but we're making some inroads there. We do use others that are further down our list. We do have a supplier of last resort. That tends to be Amazon, but that's like really, really last resort, as in, really hard to find bit, cable, adapter, or whatever it happens to be that we can't get anywhere else.
Okay, sounds pretty good. What about yourself, Will? Have you got a distributor of choice or a selection?
Yeah, I try and split it between Target and Spire, actually, give them a bit of both business. Whereas, however, though, if it's specifically things like gaming builds and things like that, I will go to Target because I use their PC builder and things, custom PC builder. But yeah, both Spire and Target. So yeah,
Yeah.
I tend
Okay,
to
sounds pretty good. If
share
anyone's
it.
watching and you want to meet those distributors or many more like Ortil, Case King, who else we got?
Origin, replace base.
Yeah, I said Ortil, didn't I? Origin, Replace Space. There's quite a few different ones. We've got a couple more actually we're talking to
And
at the
if you don't
moment.
know Origin, that's Hits that used to be a Gigabyte and CMS. He is there now.
Yeah.
And there is the guy from Target is there now.
Oh yeah, what was his name?
Trying to think.
The new account manager. I forget his name now. Was it Richard? No, I can't remember. I'm not going to say names if they're not right.
Hits,
But
if you're watching, tell me who I'm talking about.
yeah, exactly. But anyway, if you go to TechMax, which is on 21st of June, you'll be able to meet a lot of these distributors there. It is Richard Day. I thought it was Richard, but yeah. So again, there's Origin do seem to be an up and coming one.
Yeah.
Case King seem to be doing a lot of improvements. We've been
They are.
speaking to them a lot. So yeah, be interesting
And
to
they're
see.
also a sponsor of TechMax, is
Case King, yeah.
So they've got that going for them.
Yeah, they've definitely got a lot. They've got, I think it's 14 tables worth of stuff going to be at TechMax and different brands.
They are a large presence.
So it gives you a rough idea. So,
But saying that, CMS have 12?
yeah, so 12, 13, I can't remember now.
12, I do
think it is,
believe.
yeah. So there's quite a few. So let's have a look. What about online presence? Are either of you, how are you using your website? Are you selling online or are you going to be using it more of a way to attract people into your store? Go for you, Ken, first.
Currently, our main website is an online store,
Yeah.
but we are moving to a model where we've got multiple websites for different purposes. So the telecom side of the business to business stuff, but the consumer one will always be front and center online store. We're going to launch a second online store for our business customers, which will have expat pricing, exclusive to them, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's mainly online store, I think.
Okay. What about yourself, Will?
For me, more brand advertising at the moment. I'm not doing an online store as such. Just get my feet going in the store first of
Yeah.
all, and then hopefully future to do that. A bit more about just advertising my brand and name.
Baby steps.
Facebook. Yeah, baby steps first. And looking forward to meeting Gadget Joe at
I
TechMax as
am
well.
too.
So we've been chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been chatting online. So nice to put a chat to a face.
Yes.
Yeah,
Or a face to a
yeah.
chat.
Yeah, we've got quite a few influencers or media partners coming this year to the event, which we haven't had in the past. So it'd be good to
Tech
see
is
them.
coming, so-
Yeah, well, Tech signed up
Yeah.
this week as well, so that's good. And we've got quite a few as well. Tech Hut, is it? And
Let me see.
Kit Guru and so forth. But yeah, Gadget Joe seems to log in to
Yeah.
a lot of our videos.
We got eye doctor, device repair.
Yeah, Tech Hut, Gadget
Tech
Go,
Hut,
Welsh Tech.
Yep. Go
Mhm.
ahead.
Yeah, it's all right. Let you finish off. But there we go. Right, okay, let's quickly just go through some of the comments. One more final recommendation. This is from Justin Hay. Make sure you stock good RAM. I would say that's down to preference, what brands you like. Generally, it's if you are going to stock some, and I'll say this for anyone, if you're stocking any new RAM, and this goes for SSDs as well, is whichever for both of them, is make sure you test them yourselves for a good period before you try stocking them and selling them. We always said in our store, if we wouldn't use it ourselves, we wouldn't sell it, and it's as simple as that.
We got
Again,
hold of some nasty RAM one time. And I'm telling you, nasty. We looked at the price. We thought, oh, well, this is not a bad price for this ram. And we got it. And oh my stars, you remember it?
Mm-hmm.
The yellow ones? Oh.
Yeah, it was.
Every machine we put it in came back.
I'll say it starts with a Z, and it's like a rock band. What starts with lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the brand, and we had that many faulty ones with a ram.
So, yeah, I know what he's saying. Get decent,
Yeah.
decent rams.
So
Yeah.
decent RAM and SSDs, I think that's
Yeah.
the biggest two things what you can have issues
Yeah.
with. And again, it's down to preference. I've seen people say they have issues with one brand, and then other people say that absolutely no problem. So again, it's down to preference, and again, it can depend on the models. You go for a cheaper model, it's still
Yeah.
not always as good as the better ones, but it's always best spending a few quid on those. Even when we review stuff, we can review them and they can test them, and we can test them as long as we want, for 2, 3, 4 days. But you just don't know with products how long they're going to physically last, and that's
I'd
the same
rather
for any
pay a
bloody
little
reviews.
bit more and have the security of knowing it's a well suited brand that's not going to break down on me, and model that's not
Mm-hmm.
going to break down on me, than pick up something cheap and nasty because it was cheaper.
Yeah.
Because you buy cheap and nasty, it's going to come back to haunt you.
Don't get me wrong, there are some cheaper brands which are good, but again, it's the same with anything.
But it's not
You get what
cheap
you
and
pay
nasty.
for.
There's cheap and
Yeah,
nasty.
exactly. So I remember one brand of RAM we got come in. What was it called? Value RAM or something like
And
that.
it was
from-
exactly that.
the RAM module when it came was physically bent. So, but yeah, definitely.
No
Right,
heat sinks, nothing. It was absolutely.
right. I'm gonna finish it there, but with one last question first, and this is going to go to Ken. Obviously, we know what you're doing now, but do you have a future plan, as in after this store?
That would be telling there is something in the pipeline, but I can't say an awful lot about it at the moment. We are currently talking to a shopping centre operator locally to us about, I think it's 70 odd thousand square feet of space. And
Okay,
it
say no more.
might be more leisure based.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He's going into skiing equipment. That's what it is.
Nah.
In there. Right. What about yourself, Will? I know it's hard to judge what you want a future holds, but
Hopefully, just that the future is prosperous for me, and that everything goes to plan, marriage wise, rent wise, and there's people comes into the shop, and I'll take it from there. I'll take each month as I can at the moment, but I'm signed up for 12 months, so hopefully in the next 12 months I'm moving to a bigger store.
What you do
Okay.
is you bring your daughter in and you teach her how to.
Oh, she's already
Oh,
done
does
that.
she?
there you go. Then.
Yeah, well, there you go. You got someone to
I've
run
already
the
got her
place.
started. She's Daddy's little apprentice.
Aw, sweet.
There we go. If there was one tip I was to give anyone for the future, is never stand still. Always
Yeah.
aim to do something more. The time you
Yeah.
stand still is where you get left behind by everyone else. So always keep thinking through the future. Even though tech for tech, you think that we're doing a lot of stuff at the moment.
We
Believe
have
it or
so
not,
many
we've
future
got a lot of
plans.
stuff we're working on at the moment.
Oh,
So
wow.
some of it might be more evident in a few months. It might be later in the
Maybe a
year,
year or
but
two, but
we want to make sure
we
we get
are-
it nailed first before we
Yeah.
start doing stuff. So never stand still. Always trying that little extra, even if it's only a little 1-2% each time. It just make it a little better. Okay.
We're constantly talking to people, distributors, vendors, and everything to get new things going. And you may not see it for a few months after, while we are talking to people. We may not bring it up in discussion, but never fear. We're always doing something clever.
But there's a lot of things we're working on, and there's some things like with any business, you think, we'll give it a go and see how that works, and then you go, you'll spend so
Maybe
much
not.
time and money on it, and you think, yeah, well, it's not actually going the way you want it to go. But just be aware that there's, no matter how good you are or what you do, there's always going to be things what just
Not
don't work
everything
out.
works.
Yeah. It's
And
just
some
that
things
case.
seem like a good idea at the time, And
Then you put it into practice and you're thinking, no, it's actually taking up too much time, little profit or benefit from it. So yeah, you have to prioritise. But anyway, guys, it's been well over the hour now, so it's been an hour 15 or so. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say thanks for Will for joining us tonight. Also, thanks again to Ken. Good luck with the new store, Ken, and this mysterious 7,000 million foot whatever it is you're going
I
to be
reckon
doing.
it's a Labrador place.
Yeah, pet store.
Yeah.
He's taking over the world.
I think Duke's going to be busy then at this
Well,
rate.
there's an idea.
he's putting together a new government.
Well, you never know. So local council
I'll
or
have to
something.
bring Bond up if we need some help.
That's it. So yeah, good luck obviously with the new store, Ken, or the moving store, and obviously Will obviously let us know when you're up and running, and we'll have to try and make a visit at some times. We've got to do a few
Definitely.
visits anyway at places at some point when Bond's being able to be left alone. But yeah, Bond's a dog, by the way, if no one knows, is a puppy. So, but anyway,
But he's probably welcome up at Ken's. So.
yeah, Ken's.
Oh yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
welcome with me.
Probably a bit crazy
Definitely.
at Ken's with Bond, Duke, and Prince, but
I'm used to shredded cardboard around the office now, so that's all right. You know, we'll live with it.
Yeah, we know about the shredded cardboard here. Yeah.
There we go. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Just say thanks again for watching. Again, if you haven't signed up for TechMax, it's tftmax.com. Get yourself registered. There's a QR code at the top corner of the screen, which is there. And obviously the website's at the bottom of the screen there. Again, thank you, Will. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, everyone, for watching and spending your evening with us. And I hope we didn't bore you to death too much. But before you do go, as always, I'm going to get you to do one thing, and that is watch this. Where can you